Kaleshwaram and criticism. Is it justified? The multi-crore Kaleshwaram project, built across river Godavari in Jayashankar Bhupanapalli district of Telangana, is once again in news. This time around, not for large-scale corruption, but for the bad design of the dam itself, as the flood water drowned even the pump house built to lift the water stored in the dam. The pump house, constructed about 470 feet below the earth's surface, is the most important part of the Kaleshwaram project and is considered to be the most expensive. The motors at the pump house can lift 3,000 million cubic feet of water per day. Each motor pump weighs around 2,376 metric tons and is called the giant motor or the Bahubali motor. The project is estimated to irrigate around 18.25 lakh acres. Never before did the state experience such high rainfall. The last historic floods which left miseries behind were in August 1986 in the undivided Andhra Pradesh. Reportedly, one of the reasons that led to the rise of water levels in river Godavari is due to the onset of the southwest monsoon as well as the low pressure in the Bay of Bengal, which became a double whammy. What led to the crisis, though? No human life has been lost so far, thanks to timely initiatives of the state government. Yet, the question that is being asked by the opposition as well as a section of media which is hostile to the government, why you didn't heed to the advice of those who raised objections over the very design of the project at the preliminary stage itself? Those who raised objections are really competent or part of the opposition to criticize the government to stall such a multi-crore as well as a multi-purpose project? This is what Kondapalli Venugopal Rao, a qualified civil engineer who worked as chief engineer in the state in the past and was responsible for executing several irrigation projects including Devadula and Mahadevpur, had to say.
I, Kondapalli Venugopal Rao, as a seasoned engineer and involved in several other irrigation projects in the past, wish to put some facts to best of my knowledge to clear unwarranted criticism in the media and as well as social media and a big hue and cry about so-called fault lines of design of the multi-purpose Kaleshwaram project, which was built across the river Godavari to meet the needs of people for drinking as well as irrigation. Firstly, I would like to say that Kadam is a dam and Kaleshwaram project was built with barrages, series of barrages. This is to clarify for common people. I know most of the engineers knows the difference, but for common people I am clarifying. And according to World Commission on Dams, dam is built for water storage in a reservoir which raises the level of the water significantly, whereas a barrage is built for diverting water and raises the water level by only a few feet or meters. That's the main difference, and people should understand the difference. We'll go to first Kadam floods. The Kadam dam designed for around 3 lakh cusecs flood and flood received was 6 lakh cusecs. We should thank God for withstanding such a huge flood than designed. Generally, if such huge flood received and beyond control, the government will go for disaster management instead of flood management. The similar situation arose at Srisailam and NSP around 2004-2005. As the Kannur city was nearing submergence because of backwater effect of Srisailam, there were plans to break the earth dam of NSP. People should know this. Fortunately, it was not done at that time and everything came into control because of receding floods. The Kaleshwaram multi-purpose project was built to cater the drinking water and irrigation needs of people of Telangana by constructing barrages across river Godavari at Sundilla, Annaram and Medigadda. Medigadda was the confluence point of Godavari and Pranahita. At Medigadda, the designed flood discharge was 28 lakh cusecs, and this was done based on the GND data of at Perur site. The maximum discharge received earlier in 1986 was 22 lakhs. Generally, the barrages or weirs will be designed for 50 years maximum flood discharge. Instead of that, in the case of Kaleshwaram project, it was considered for 100 years. Coming to particular days of July 12th and 13th, where rainfall was heavy in northern Telangana, which was over 20 centimeters, flash floods were received in Godavari basin and in particular to Kadam Dam. The levels and design of structures and discharge capacity were all done by WAPCOS, a Government of India undertaking, and approved by CWC. The CWC will have their own data and will check before according approval. And it was given TSC approval also. There is lot of discussion about backwater effect, and it was being made viral that the backwater effect was not considered for design purposes at Medigadda. Since these are barrages, a free flow condition for discharge will be considered. Generally, in the case of barrages, an afflux of 1 meter is found satisfactory in upper and middle reaches, and in lower reaches with flat gradient, the afflux have to be limited to about 0.3 meters. This is as per IS code 6966. However, all these factors were considered and designed and constructed. And particularly now the big hue and cry is going on with regard to submergence of pump houses. Since it is a flash flood occurring at same time, that is Godavari and Pranayita, and more than the designed discharge, the pump houses might have been submerged. Although all gates were kept open. All gates were kept open in advance and MFT was more than the designed pump houses might have been submerged. The effect of submergence earlier was also encountered by the engineers at Srisailam, Kalvakurti, etc. The repairs can be easily done within 2 to 3 months by megging, that is dewatering, hot air blowing, and by removing humidity, etc. etc. The panel before submergence, the panel boards were switched off and all precautions were taken. It has come to my notice. And with regard to daily rainfall also, in 1986, the maximum discharge, on July 18th, 4,48,000 cusecs.
Interestingly, the cause of concern over the situation at the Kadam Dam project in the Nirmal district was normalized after the water started receding on Friday. Yet, the situation in Bhadrachalam remained perilous as the water level of Godavari touched 62.2 feet, the highest since the formation of Telangana. The state received an average rainfall of 39.5 millimeters against a normal of 6.7 millimeters, recording a deviation of around 490% this monsoon. At the Kaleshwaram project, the Kanepalli Lakshmi pump, which houses 17 heavy-duty motors, and the Annaram pump, which houses 7 heavy-duty motors that can pump out 2 TMC of water per day, were inundated. However, irrigation officials said that the submersion of pump houses is a common occurrence and dismissed concerns over the incident. Yet, Kaleshwaram, which is considered the biggest ever project in the world, was built across the river Godavari at a whopping outlay of Rs 1.15 lakh crore. It got into sharp criticism as the estimate of the project shot up by many folds from Rs 40 lakh crore, giving room for opposition to blame the government for mega loot by his family as well as his cronies. Even while the graft charges are yet to die down in the wake of upcoming assembly polls, the late design controversy is bound to take center stage as the opposition is bent on exposing KCR and his dynasty rule. It looks inevitable, and how far the opposition will succeed, one has to wait and see. Yet, none can deny giving credit to KCR and his government for meticulously handling the situation amidst sharp criticism. This is MS Purthy for Orange News 9 TV.